Welcome back to the Two Guys Named Chris show. Lisa Lanier, our official attorney, is with us today, as she always has some great cases today for Lawyer Up. Hello, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Let's get to this first story, which this is, again, law. It is not U.S. law. This is international law, but I think
It's not her strong suit.
Not her strong suit, but we've had cases like this before in the United States. An Austrian man has been accused of deliberately passing gas at a police officer, but has argued that this was an act of self-expression and that he should not be fined anything. He was up against a $689 American money fine. It got knocked down to $138. He's 22 years old, and the claim is that when police were approaching him, he lifted his buttocks, tensed up, and let out intestinal gas intentionally. And then sat and cracked a grin at the officer who was right next to him. We've had folks in the United States who would do the same and waft the smell toward the officer. He says this is self-expression and he cannot be fined. But Lisa, I think he's going to lose. What do you think about this?
Well, this is actually making the news internationally on several occasions recently, this sort of thing. A man in Scotland recently made international headlines when he was convicted of threatening a police officer by intentionally farting several times during a strip search while saying, "How do you like that?" So
well, that's insult to injury.
Definitely.
Well, you're down there. Take that.
How you like them apples?
Lisa.
Apparently, it's a trend. It's a trend for criminals to fart on cops.
I'm going to be killed. I told you.
This is just, it's horrible. And have they thrown the book at these folks?
They are throwing the book at these folks. It happened here in the United States a few years ago. A West Virginia man made headlines when he was stopped for a DUI, and he farted and waved it toward cops.
That's right. Yep.
And they charged him with a battery. They ultimately ended up dismissing the charges. So here's where, farting on cops has not really made it to the Supreme Court, believe it or not. But
well,
have you ever been around Elena Kagan?
What has made it? Two things that have made it are flipping cops the bird, which the courts have ruled you can do. That is freedom of expression. Mm-hmm. But you cannot, you can't spit on cops or anything like that. That's an exchange of bodily fluids. And the interesting thing is that farting is sort of in between. It's not quite as expressive and clearly speech as flipping the bird, but it's also, it's not quite an exchange of bodily fluid, but it's it's an obnoxious odor. Mm-hmm. But, so it's kind of in this middle area. But I think it tends more toward flipping the bird and expression than it does toward an exchange of bodily fluids. And I think that's why you saw in that West Virginia case that the charges were dropped, because there's no touching that would amount to a battery. And so it really is a tough thing for them to make any kind of charge stick. So I think in the long run, this trend of farting on cops is going to end up being okay.
But I don't think it's going to ever stop. Because I think if you've been drinking or you're on drugs and you got gas, you're going to let fly. I mean, it's just going to happen. And in that West Virginia
and you're
case,
going to grin about it.
And you're going to grin. And he might grin for a second. But, that West Virginia case, it wasn't so much the gas passing as it was the wafting.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah,
but they dropped the charges. But if the precedent is set, if the Supreme Court takes this on, I don't know where conservatives and liberals will fall on this. Might be a 5-4. Who writes the dissent on this? Anyway, if they set a precedent that this is okay, then cops are just going to be dodging.
I bet they do already, and you just never hear about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you might be right.
I bet they do it in the back when you get put in the back of a car. But that's the first thing that a person does is pass gas.
Yeah, probably so.
I'll show you.
I hope not. It's their only weapon now.
Yeah.
They've been stripped of their illegal guns. Now I have to do
Play
this.
the cards you dealt.
Right. Now I have to do this. My God. I don't know, Lisa, if you can ever run for office since you've just said that.
That statement could haunt you forever.
Your last minute on here is really tough. Great story here. Well, story out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina that I'm so hopping mad about this. I don't know what to do. We covered it earlier in the week. Horry County, the Kinney family went to Walt Disney World on vacation. And while they were gone, some kids went into their house. They were playing ball near the house, went in through a window. They said to get a drink, but while they were in there, proceeded to bust up all sorts of computers, televisions, peed on stuff. This is Mr. Kinney explaining it.
Busted up Xboxes, busted up laptops, PC computers, just taken out back and just smashed with a shovel.
They took my computer, they urinated on my computer to the point where it fried the inside and started smoking.
That's right. That's Mr. and Mrs. Kinney explaining there. And the computer was urinated upon. And they said they cannot charge these folks. The reporter explains this. They cannot charge the kids, even though they know who the kids are, because of their age.
I reached out to the Horry County Police Department. They tell me because the two people responsible for damaging the house are just kids, they cannot be charged. Police also say that it was intentional.
If you were thinking they accidentally peed all over this man's computer and left it smoking and smoking. No, they did it on purpose. Now, Lisa, the man says it totals up to like $60,000 in damage. What in the world? I mean, somebody has to pay this bill.
It's crazy. They completely trashed his house. I mean, beyond just the urinating on his computer, they literally smashed every bedroom, every television. They took glitter, boxes of glitter, and just ran through the house. Glitter is terrible. You'll never get rid of glitter. Like, you might as well burn the house down.
That's right.
And, just...
You're right. And even then, it's still there.
You're right.
I mean, just terrible. So this is the crazy thing. None of the reports that I could find gave the actual age of the children, but South Carolina is renowned for having the youngest age at which a child can be in the nation, lowest in the nation, 6 years old. You can be charged with a crime in South Carolina. So are you telling me these kids were 5 years old that did this? I mean, I guess they were, in South Carolina at 6, you can, we talked about a similar story with the kid that was in North Carolina that was plucking the flower at the bus stop. Yep. And that's, you can be, and he was charged with a crime. He's 7. South Carolina, lowest in the nation, age of 6. So I guess these kids were 5 years old. Where the heck were their parents? What 5-year-old is, and so, but the crazy thing too is this poor family, not only are there no charges being filed, but their homeowner's insurance has denied the claim because apparently they only had a dwelling policy that didn't cover their contents. They found out.
That's no surprise.
So, of course, they can. Yeah, it's terrible. They can file a civil action against the parents of these children.
Well, I would do that immediately. And don't get Dave started on homeowners insurance like that.
Waste of money.
He's adamantly against it. Yeah, it only covers the structure.
The stuff, not the gut. It covers the gutters and the chimney.
That's right.
But if these kids are 5 years old, I have a hard time believing that.
The damage I saw, I can't believe a 5-year-old could even do. I mean, unreal.
Yeah.
To sneak in, to break into a house like that.
Who makes that? Who makes that decision, Lisa, on if they can be charged or not? Is it a magistrate or the DA?
Well, I mean, it is the law. So it's the law in South Carolina. It's a state statute that says if you are under 6 years old, 6 and under, I think, you cannot be charged with a crime because the idea, and all states have some level where they basically say under that level, a child, is incapable of forming criminal intent. It's called the defense of infancy. And the idea is that, you're tiny. You can't form criminal intent. You can't intend to commit a crime. So, these kids obviously did intend this, but if they're under 6, they're scot-free.
Unbelievable. Dave was saying, because I couldn't find the ages of the kids anywhere either. And when we read this, when I read it, thought, oh, these are 14-year-olds.
Me too.
And then we were saying, well, they must be younger than that, or you could charge them juvenile. So we thought 10 or 11.
Exactly.
But I thought 10 or 11. No way, that's too young. You're telling me 5 or 6. My gosh.
I mean, that's if they're being told the truth. I mean, I don't know if the local law enforcement just decided, hey, maybe they're 8, 9, 10 or something, and they've just decided, hey, they're too young to charge. That would be something that would not be following this statute, but would be the decision of local law enforcement.
I'd have my lawyer working overtime down there.
Absolutely.
Overtime.
World's a mess, folks. World's a mess.
He said it.
You want to run for office?
Is that going to be your slogan?
Yes, that is my slogan. This world is a mess. It is upside down.
Well, it's not really. It's not hope,
upside
is it?
down, yeah.
No, it's not.
You're not promoting hope.
That's not.
No. There's another story about food here today. A man named Dana Hutchings, only 41, passed away at a ballpark in Fresno, California. He choked on food during an eating competition. And he's not a professional eater, of course. He just got involved in an eating competition. They were doing it was taco eating. Who could eat the most tacos in a limited amount of time?
Between innings.
Exactly. He choked. Now his son is filing the lawsuit. His son is 18. He's filing the lawsuit. But, of course, the ballpark made him sign a waiver and everything before he did it. So is there a leg to stand on for the family here, Lisa? It's just so tragic to hear. But, of course, the ballpark is saying, look, we dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's before we had the competition. What do you think?
It's California, and in California, they are an assumption of the risk state, meaning that if you do a dangerous activity and you sign a waiver, you are signing and acknowledging that you're doing something that is dangerous and can cause you harm. And so you would think that and the family, they acknowledge that there was an assumption of the risk issue here, but what they are saying is that a person who is not a professional eating contest participant, who's an amateur like this guy, who's never done it before, has no idea how dangerous this is. Because, we've talked about these contests before, hot dog eating and wing eating and whatever. It is very common. They almost always have EMS standing by at the scene of these things. It is very common for people to die at these events. And they choke. And it's just, your body can, and professionals really train for this. And they learn to expand their eating, their ability over time so that they can do this safely. This guy's a total amateur, chokes to death right there at the scene. I don't know, I didn't hear an allegation that they failed to have EMS there, so I'm guessing that they tried to resuscitate him. But what the family is saying is, you didn't explain to our dad, who's an amateur, how dangerous this was. You didn't explain the risk.
How old's the
I
guy?
don't know that that's going to fly.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's going to fly with a jury because it seems like it's obvious that you could choke from a taco eating.
He's 41.
Yeah, that's bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think
he eats.
Yeah.
You know the risk.
You can choke. That's pretty thin defense.
If you're eating something, you're shoving a bunch of tacos in your mouth, you should know.
But I'm not a professional, so I don't know.
Was the other teams taking infield practice?
Yeah.
And what are they doing having a baseball game with no EMS there?
Pounding on this guy's chest?
Well, we don't know there was no EMS there. They may have
They
tried
almost
to.
always
Yeah, I
have
think there
EMS.
probably was. I think there probably was EMS there because that's pretty standard at these eating contests. I assume that they tried because I heard no allegation about that in anything I read.
It's all about the lack of knowledge of the risk involved. But Dave said no, he doesn't buy it. He doesn't. You know the risk going on. I just feel so bad for that family.
That's too bad.
Guy choking down.
You should have known better.
This is the feel bad segment, Dave. Let Kelly be.
Yes, I feel bad.
Eating
Dave.
tacos, soft or hard shell. I think that factors in.
I do too. I don't know.
It's got to be soft in an eating contest.
I was picturing hard.
I was picturing hard.
Me too.
No, I think soft. You got to get more in.
Yeah. Oh, really?
But I think they line up better. They're better.
Yeah, they do
visually.
line up better. Yeah.
I don't know. I should do more research on that. But
I think harder are better visuals.
agreed.
And they're harder to get down. I mean, soft ones. I mean, Kelly could throw down 8 or 10 of those at one time.
He already
Well,
feels
it's more
bad,
exciting
Dave.
to watch.
sorry, Kelly.
If you're in a contest, I would think the hard shell would be exciting. You got like taco shrapnel flying everywhere, and
That's
You
right.
got good,
much more
good
entertaining to
microphones.
watch.
You got crunch.
That's
Agree.
right.
Yeah, crunch. Yeah.
Lisa, I'm sorry you had to witness Dave being so hurtful toward me. I don't know why. I can't pretend to know
He's
why.
elderly now.
Look, your birthday's over.
I'm older.
It's time to come to terms. You're on the downwind run.
This is elder abuse.
This is elder abuse. This is elder abuse right here. That's right.